I'm going to be honest with you. This is where I said we're going to be on opposite sides of the V on this one because I know I'm supposed to have fear, as I have in my every season leading up to this. I'm supposed to have fear of the Ravens, the Steelers, and the Bengals. Now, I know we could talk about again how you don't really agree with my disdain for the Bengals and how I just throw them out. And after talking with you, I think you're right. I think we think there's more players missing from their team than there is. They haven't lost anybody.
If anything, AJ Green hurt.
Right.
They lost Vontaze Burfict, but
yes.
I mean, he was.
But they got slapped around last year, though.
Yeah, but he can be hurt your team and he can help your team sometimes. So, it's 50-50. They still got the same quarterback. They still got the receivers that they had. They still got Joe Mixon. He's a good player.
Well, you're right. You remind me that Joe Mixon's a great
They still got
back.
the Geno Atkins and what was the other defensive lineman they got? The one they just signed. They signed both of them to extensions at the same time. Geno Atkins.
Man, I don't remember.
What's his name? Geno Atkins and... What is his name? Is it Dunlap? Yeah.
Yep, Carlos Dunlap.
And those guys are still there. Like, they got the young linebackers. Like, man, I'm not going to say the Bengals are not going to be they might not be as good as the other teams maybe, but who knows in the AFC North?
Right,
they
aren't going to be a bye. That's for
But
sure.
you know how the AFC North go.
But, okay, so that's what I was going to say is I am more comfortable than I ever should be going into the season in the AFC North because that last game of the season just was the perfect icing on the cake. We didn't want to win that game because F the Steelers. If I wasn't going to make it to the playoffs, I want the Steelers getting booted out of the playoffs. So, a win for us in that game was actually losing. Then, we technically, aside from, with the bad play calls, with the picks thrown and everything, it was like, that game was dead even, and we beat ourselves. Which means you guys are beatable.
Take a step back, though. Take a step back. Two of Lamar touchdowns got called back. That game was supposed to be long gone. That one petty holding they called, and that goal line reach, that was a touchdown.
I think you're right. I think you're right.
But don't forget that it was two plays right there
it's two touchdowns.
That game was over with. Like, we thought when Lamar broke through the line and got that long run, everybody was like, oh, this is... So, I get what you're saying. Baker was delivering in the second half. He came out, he was hitting some strikes. There was a couple questionable calls on the catches.
Yeah.
So, everybody's beatable in the AFC North, though.
That's true.
And that's the thing about the AFC North that kills... it don't kill a conference, but that conference beat up on each other every week, beat up on each other. So when it come time to play in the playoffs, damn near the whole team hurt. Like, that's how that conference go. And with Cleveland this year, how is they all gonna get the
Yo, can I be honest with you? And I don't know if I like saying this because this will probably come out Friday and our draft is Sunday. So I kind of don't like letting people know what's in my head. Yeah. But every season, there's always been at least one or two Browns where it's like, you know what, the Browns will probably be shitty, but you pick him up and you're going to do great because they're going to get the ball the whole season. That's not the case this year where it's like, I don't think I want to pick a single Brown. Kyle, who we go to law school with, was like, dude, check out my squad. And I'm a Browns fan, right? So I didn't want to show any disdain of so I was psyched for him. I'm like, yeah, I'm glad you're supporting the Browns and you're excited for having a Browns player. But the first thing I wanted to say to him was like, dude, he's gonna disappoint. I think he's gonna disappoint you. Odell was the player. Sorry, so Odell will do well, but he was. If you go to the ESPN,
what do you say? Well, what do you think Odell will do this year? Honestly, if you had to make a prediction.
So here's how I will look at it. Travis Kelce was one of the best players on my team, and he was just a tight end. Boom. But also, Travis Kelce was one of the most reliable players for that team. Mm-hmm. So, kind of inserting Odell into that position, right? You've got Chubb will be probably if there's a player on the Browns to have, it's Chubb. Chubb will be used for some quick passes outside, but he'll get the ball every time. Yeah. So Chubb, who knows what's going to happen when Hill comes back. Hunt. When Kareem Hunt comes back. Yeah. That's going to really screw things up. But Jarvis was our pretty boy post. That was the name of our offense.
He do all the dirty work.
But his fantasy points were terrible.
Yeah, I had him last year. He's a 5 catches for 60 yards and no touchdowns, or 10 catches for 90 yards. It's like,
and so I'm worried. I think Odell will be our touchdown guy. Yeah. I think the way the camera flashes work, he needs to be the guy scoring the touchdown.
What about Njoku though? Like what?
Dude, so that's it too. Kyle picked up Njoku, and I did tell Kyle, I was like, that's somebody I would legitimately get excited for. Why? Because that's a tight end you could get pretty low compared to other tight ends, like Ertz or, he's a lower tight end, and boy, do we rely on him. Yeah. And he gets big points, and that's when we were even shittier last year and the year before.
Yeah. See, for me, I just don't see... How does all of these people fit?
They don't.
Like, because it's going to get to the point, well, me personally, I see a situation where on this play, throw it to him. Like, and if that's the case...
And then he's covered.
Yeah.
And then what?
Yeah.
And then you get the classic, here's a quarterback looking lost because the player I picked before the play is covered, and I don't know what to do.
I don't think Baker would do that because Baker is a good quarterback. He's one of those guys that's like, man, I know who I'm
and he scrambles well. Yeah, I will give him that.
So, I don't know, man. It could be the best thing we ever saw, or it could be...
So, if I had to give it a point score, an average, I think it would be like a best great quarterback in a PPR leagues, like around a little over 20, like 20, 25. But a good solid wide receiver, let's say, is like at 18. I say you probably average 15 to 20 with Odell. But the sad, unfortunate part is, in that, you'll have a breakout game where you get 30, but you'll also have a couple, maybe 2 or 3 games paired with that big game of him getting maybe 10 or like some real no points. Yeah. And in fantasy, you can't afford one player getting zilch.
Yeah.
And I think you're going to see a couple games of that.